According to legend, Lake Superior seldom gives up her dead, and from staring into it from the little boat I could see that it was true. There was no resurfacing in this place, just an endless fall to the bottom. We were filming up at Whitefish Point in Michigan, a big movie with bold intentions and historical facts and weak lines I should never have said yes to. It was a sprawling epic by a screenwriter desperate to show he still had it, though no one could remember what it was. It was a bread-and-butter movie while I waited for the one I really wanted, the one that wouldn't ever come. The life of an actress, a delicious, painful wait. The hotel was fine once, they bragged, full of moneyed types who somehow managed to squeeze a vacation into every weekend. But by the time we got there, the grandeur had long faded, that stretch of the lake no longer popular and given up to the snowdrifts of winter. We'd already been there a few days in late summer to shoot the hopeful beginnings of the Westmoreland family saga, and now we were back to film its snowy and violent denouement. The hotel seemed sad when we returned, its wooden panels scattered open like a lady's fan. It cracked in the cold. My room was like an ice block, but I rejected the extra blankets because something about shivering made me sleep better. I'd always been a sucker for the authentic experience, and here I was by a winter lake, and I wanted it to be real. I'd not heard him on the first night, the ghost, nor the second, nor the third. To tell the truth now, I don't remember when I became aware of him. All I know is that when I did, it was like he'd always been with me, like he was somehow in my blood. I called him Ginsberg, the ghost, after the poet whose work I studied at college, which I never understood, but which lulled me into hypnotized fascination. I'd hear him whispering at night. I searched for the voice at first, but every time I expected to find a living person close by, my ears would take me back to the nothingness in the middle of the room. He was right there, beside me, in my ear like my blood. I'd leave my room early for the day's shooting, then go back, and Ginsberg would talk to me while I bathed, from afar like a gentleman, then near as I climbed into bed, my shivering mingled with feelings not usually reserved for ghosts. I accepted him as wholly part of the place, as the curtains and beams. Something in his voice welcomed familiarity. He told me about himself, about his life and death on the great black lake. His words were like winter kisses, begging to come back. The man, Hal Bennett, always downstairs in the bar, was not your usual predatory type. I suppose this made me relax a little around him as he asked his questions. He didn't seem to have it in him to truly bother me, that drive that men have when they want you. He seemed tired and bored. A lonely fisherman, bored of the great lake and all the life and death inside. He propped up the bar every night as we all came tumbling in, weary from a long day filming in the drifts. I'd talk a while. I felt bad for him. He didn't care that my name was not recognizable to him. He didn't care that he had never seen a single one of my movies. To him I was every actress there had ever been. I was the only embodiment of all that glamour he would never get to witness firsthand. I indulged him. I may even have put on little airs to please him. I played the role of actress because he wanted it. Every actress wants to please, or she'd be doing something else. I judged him wrongly, like a lot of things. We came back early one night. We'd lost the light we needed for the penultimate scene. Vengeance, a tree hanging, and a bit which tore my blouse ripped tastefully, but enough to please audiences who'd get bored of historical detail. We were released and allowed an early night. The guys all wanted bloody steaks and bourbon, but I needed quiet, and I wasn't ready for Ginsberg. Or rather, he wasn't ready for me. That needed the hotel to quieten down, to still its creaking sighs and bar braying. So I went for a walk down to the lake. The man, Hal, followed me down. He called after me, asked me to talk a while. I paused. I wanted my quiet time. Something in his face made me start walking fast away from him. His boots crunched after me. He laughed and told me not to be rude. I ran. He ran better. He tripped me up in the snow with his giant black boots, my head cut open on something hidden beneath the crunching white. He pulled me along to a jetty and flopped me over into the little boat. My cheek pressed against the frosted wood. I stared down into the dark waters. I saw the endless fall into the bottomless black. There was the fisherman, pulling out a spade from under a blanket, stretching out a length of wire and turning back to check he'd not been seen. There was I, with my eyes half shut and my lip pushed against the chipped oar, watching it all in the water. And there was Ginsberg, below. I knew it was him. He held out his hand as the spade rose up, and I went with him.